Bobby had once been a household name, the bright, innocent face that graced televisions in millions of homes. As the star of Bobby's World, a hit show about a quirky young boy navigating an even quirkier world, he became the beloved child actor everyone thought would always be on top. The show had run for years, gaining fans from every age group, and Bobby's face was everywhere. But as the years passed, Bobby grew up. His show ended, and the world moved on to the next big thing. Without the fame of Bobby's World, Bobby faded into obscurity. His fans got older, and the networks didn't have room for a grown-up child star who had already peaked. The calls for auditions stopped coming. The bright lights that once seemed so close now felt like they were a distant memory. Bobby tried to stay afloat, living off whatever came his way, but the work was hard to come by. He struggled with the transition, the gap between childhood stardom and adulthood. When the money ran out, Bobby didn't know where else to turn. One day, he walked into Pete's Pawn and Pizza, a local, run-down shop on the corner of a busy street. The scent of stale grease and burnt crusts hung in the air, but it was the only place that seemed to be hiring. He started as a cashier, making minimum wage. His old TV show posters, the ones that had once hung in his room, now seemed like relics of a forgotten time. He could barely look at them without feeling a wave of sadness. As the hours passed, he often stared out the small window, wondering where it all went wrong. Pete, the owner, was a good guy. He never asked Bobby about his past. He just offered him a job and a place to stay when Bobby couldn't afford rent. Every now and then, a customer would look at him strangely, like they recognized him. Bobby would try to brush it off with a half-hearted smile, but the whispers always followed him. "Wasn't he on that show?" they'd say, and then forget it just as quickly as they'd remembered. On slow nights, Bobby would clean the counter, wiping it down in slow, methodical circles. Sometimes, he would remember the lines of dialogue he used to say with such excitement, the flashbulbs from photographers, the screams of fans. But those memories felt like dreams now, fading out of reach. He never told Pete, but the hardest part wasn't the work or the low wages. It was the way he missed being seen, the way he missed being important. The little boy who once played in a world of color and imagination now spent his days in a world of pizza boxes and pawned guitars. In the quiet of the late night, Bobby would sit alone in the back, wondering if there would ever be a way back to that world, or if he was doomed to spend the rest of his life stuck in Pete's Pawn and Pizza, with nothing but his memories of Bobby's World to keep him company.